your opinion, why do you think this fight has taken so long to get over the line? Because from the beginning of the year, it certainly seems to have been, we've seen Eddie do interviews where every couple of weeks he said he's getting closer, he's getting closer, he's getting closer. I'm still waiting for an official kind of confirmation, date, venue, and what have you. Why do you think it is that it hasn't been able to be signed, sealed, delivered as of yet?
All I can hear is ducks farting left, right and centre. A lot of them. Bob Arum, Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, the full lot of them. They're farting worse than ducks. They can't put it on in this climate. There's no money for it. Nobody wants to pay that kind of money with no crowds. Unless we get a normal way of going on and back to how it was in 2018, forget all the big fights. There'll be no fights ever like that ever again, will they? Because people need freedom. People need a mindset. People need to be happy to pay for this kind of thing. And us we're living now in these uncertain times where nothing's as it seems, in this terrible, terrible situation we're in. Some people would rather be dead. There's people dying every day. The mental health suicide rate's through the roof over it, But are they interested in boxing to that extent to go on? Well, it's $1 billion affair, isn't it? Who's got it? There's only the Saudis got it. And they ain't jumping up and down to put it on, are they? It can't be that great of a fight, can it? They're not jumping up and down to put it on. Because I'll tell you why. The timing's wrong for it. Timing's all wrong. But we'll fight anyway. We'd love to fight. But we get paid whether or not. We get paid. And if it's at Wembley, which I don't think you can ever put it at Wembley, better again, because the fans need, 2 British men should be at Wembley or Old Trafford. We shouldn't even not be going down the Saudi route at all, or the American route. We should be doing it here. Because that's what the fans want. We've got the both champions. It's been a long time before. We've never had them before. We've got them now. We'll never have them again. And they're not capitalising on it, letting people steal it. Because the English are greedy people. They're greedy. And it's not the number one sport. They'll spend billions on football, and yet they can't put this great event on in the UK where people can enjoy it. They deserve it. England deserves it. It's like the second coming of the World Cup in '66. It'll be bigger than the World Cup in '66, and yet they don't want it. They make me sick, a lot of them.
Whoa. That was a rant by John Fury. This is the continuation of the same interview conducted by Boxing Social. I will leave the description below, the link in the description below. And John Fury went off on everybody. He went off on Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, the lot of them. The British, saying they're greedy. What do I take about it? I think it's like John Fury, like I've said, John Fury, he builds something up just to knock it back down. Like he just talked, like the last video, he was talking about how his son will smash AJ. Like he says we still want to fight, but the climate is no good for it. It's not the right time. It's not the right this. But then, okay, if it's not the right time, the climate, the people need to be happy. There's some truth in that I do agree with now, because, people are dying every day. You know what I mean? And people are, not in a right place right now. And he said the only people that can put it on are the Saudis, which they should do. They're not jumping up and down. Now, that's where I'll go with a screeching halt. Obviously, that's where it's going to be. If they're going to pay for Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, they're going to pay for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Now, jumping up and down, yes, that's where the fight looks like it's going to take place. But then you can't say, okay, well, hey, they're not jumping up and down to make the fight, but then the fight should be in England. But then you just said then the fight will probably not be in England anyway due to the pandemic. So let's make more progress instead of more confusion, because what I'm hearing is confusion. Like, okay, well, hey, it should be in England. The English are British or greedy. That's why they're having it somewhere. That should be in England, should be Britain, but we know we can't fucking have it in England or at Wembley, right? Because of the pandemic, because of things happening right now. So you doubt it's going to be in England, but it should be in England because the English are greedy. No, what it is, Eddie Hearn and a lot of them, Frank Warren and Bob Arum. I know Eddie Hearn. I'm not even sure about Frank Warren and Bob Arum. I'll get to them in a second. Those guys, Eddie Hearn is trying to get this fight done. And it looks like and he's trying to find out either in Asia or the Middle East where the fight can take place, because they need the fight now. Because if the fight doesn't happen the way they're talking, they're trying to do something else. But here's the thing. Let's talk about something else for a minute. Tyson Fury had all he could have fought Aget Cabello. See, that was another obstacle. Like, hey, is an activity. You don't hear John Fury talking about that now. I haven't heard it yet. Not saying he won't mention it, because, I'm listening for this for the first time because I want the natural reaction with you guys. So I haven't heard this before. I'm hearing it with you guys. So I haven't heard him talk about the inactivity, but that was like the first thing. Now it's no money. And if it is money, hey, it shouldn't be in Saudi Arabia. It should be in, Wembley. But if it can't be in Wembley, why are we even talking about that? That raises confusion to everybody, because it's like, okay, well, John, what are you really saying? If the money's there, fight the fucking guy. See, the money with Aget Cabello was supposed to be there after he ditched Wilder and decided, hey, I don't want to fight. Now they're talking about, oh, well, I may want to fight, but the reason you didn't want to fight Wilder, because Wilder upset your people. Wilder offended your people. That's still an offense. It ain't like Wilder came on national television and said, hey, Tyson Fury, I apologize. Forgive me for the things I said, or forgive me for the bulk or the rest of the Gypsy Nation, that I shouldn't be talking about you all. I should be talking about that one man that cheated me, or you felt that cheated you allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he did that. So nothing changed how Wilder's mindset is. Wilder thought you was a cheater. Wilder said, you know what? You cheated me. You a thief. I want my third fight because I might take your life. Because I want to take your life. That was Wilder's mentality. You know what I mean? So why all of a sudden you want to fight Wilder, or that's up for grabs, when a fight is seeming to be close? Look, when a fight gets close and close and close, and people are working. See, here's the problem. If John Fury knows that Eddie Hearn is working, Eddie Hearn is trying to make this happen, why is he talking against that? It's like he's swimming against the streams here, right? So I don't get that at all. I don't get that. And see, when people are focused on doing something, and then you're talking against the progress, it makes me wonder, how much and how hard do you really want this fight? Oh, he'll be smashed to bits. He'll destroy AJ. Wonderful. Do it then. Quit talking about, hey, this is what is going to happen, because, see, speaking like this makes it harder, because that these words will or can affect the progress and hard work of what people are trying to negotiate. You got a guy sitting back saying, hey, this fight ain't going to happen. It ain't the right time. It should be in England. It shouldn't be in Saudi Arabia, which I would ideally, yes, what he's saying is true. But we know that shit ain't going to happen. We know England is off and on with lockdowns. People get sick, they lock it back down. They know that. He knows that. So why are we even talking about something that's not realistic? See, to me, the perception or the reputation these guys say, hey, I'm a sharp shooter. Okay, well, if you're a sharp shooter, why are we talking about bullshit? See, that's just a bunch of confusion again. Okay, so with John Fury saying, hey, it should be here, it shouldn't be there, you're bullshitting. You know what I mean? You're just talking against what people are doing. And here's another thing. If John Fury doesn't know what's going on negotiation-wise, don't call it bullshit because you don't know. That's the number one problem I see. I say, okay, you're a dude sitting back talking about there's no money. There's no this, there's no that, then right, the time's not right. You're just talking a bunch of bullshit. It ain't like he's at the negotiation table. Has he talked to Frank Warren and Bob Arum? Let's talk about them for a minute. Those are the promoters of his son. Let those guys do what they're supposed to do. You see what I mean? And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, he needs to get better promoters. What the fuck is Daniel Kinahan? He needs to get him, right? To help Eddie Hearn make this fight happen. A fight that is supposedly a tune-up for Tyson Fury, according to John Fury. You know, instead of saying, hey, this ain't going to happen, that ain't going to happen, but my son's going to crush him. He going to do this. He going to do that. He would do this. He would do that. He's a tune-up. Okay, well, if he's this, that, and the other, take the fucking money, beat the ass, and run. Don't give us excuses. Don't give us problems. Don't give us obstacles of the fight happening if it's so easy. Let's talk realistic. And look, it would be different if John Fury was saying, hey, I talked to my son, and according to what my son said, that his promoters told him, this fight ain't far, it ain't even close to being happening. That would be different. But I see a man based on where is his updated information. Has he said anything that warrants him thinking that the fight's not going to happen? We hear Eddie Hearn saying this. He's talking about all of them. It would be different if he's just talking about Eddie Hearn. He's talking about all of the promoters. So I think John Fury at this point, he's confident in his son. You know, he's a brash thinker and a brash talker, but I think he's becoming more of the problem instead of the solution. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the second installment of this particular interview with John Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.